I'm so excited to be able to do these numbers for this couple. Here's the information they gave me. They said they're 36. They have 150,000 saved. That's key. They can save 11 or 1,000 a month. Their expenses are 7,200 a month. And they want to know, can they retire at age 62? So what we do on this channel, $1 Million Made Easy, the channel that's made for you, what we do here is set up spreadsheets to run numbers. What we do is use the returns for the S&P 500. We have 100 years worth of data, and we project ahead what similar returns might do for in the future. Nobody knows what the returns will be, so let's just use what's happened for the last 100 years, which means we're going to come up with a full range of what may happen. Again, we got a couple that's got 150,000 saved up. And on that point, I want you to remember what Charlie Munger said. The late Charlie Munger said, do whatever you can, make every effort you can to get that first 100,000, then you can coast. And we're going to see that when we see these numbers. So they got 150,000. They're 36 years old. He said their expenses are 7,200. We're going to run the numbers accounting for these with inflation. And they said they can save $1,000 a month. And they say they want to retire at age 62. But let's go down through here as we start running these numbers, because this is so crucial. Because they also said they're going to get, each of them is going to get 2,000 from Social Security, so that would be 4,000. So we want to run these different numbers, showing you how this will work out. Again, using the numbers for the last 100 years. Now, since you're 36 and they want to go out at age 62, we're going to see that's 26 years. But I want to start at age 67 just to show you the progression here. But here's what we need to look at. Let's go ahead and see what they would have. Again, if we use the absolute worst case scenario in the last 100 years, that would be using numbers, returns like from 1992 on. Look how much they would have, folks. 4.388 million. That is in the worst case scenario in the last 100 years. The second worst is using 1988 numbers. I want you to notice a lot of these are very recent numbers. It's not like back in the Depression years like some of these other periods. Then you'd have 4.67. 90% of the time, I like to use this column right here, showing what you would have 90% of the time. You'd have 5.109, the median be 6.3 million, and the highest you'd have is 13 million. So there's a wide range here. But if they want to take it at age 62, that's not 31 years from now, that's 26. So we need to look at the 26-year column, which is right here. In that case, you'd have 1.971 million using numbers from 1956 in the worst case scenario. Second worst is 2.28. And 90% of the time, using numbers for the last 100 years, you'd have 2.467 million. The median and the highest are right there. So it kind of makes a big difference. But we need to start running the numbers to see this 7,200 that they're expecting right now in expenses or having expenses. We want to inflate that at 3% inflation rate for the next 26 years. So you're going to need almost double, actually over double this 7,200. You're going to need 15,527 coming from your nest egg. Now, we haven't even put in Social Security yet. I want to show you how important that is, because they said it'd be 2,000 each. That would be 4,000 a month. And in every one of these scenarios, if you start withdrawing, here's what you'd be withdrawing. Future expenses of 15,000, Social Security would grow to 5,321. Because you're taking at age 62, you're not going to get what you get at age 67. You're going to get 70% of that. But still, future expenses, future Social Security, you're going to need 10,207 coming from your nest egg 26 years from now. And even in that case scenario, your money's going to last. It's not going to run out. Let me show you the actual numbers going down through here. These are the worst case scenarios. Look at these numbers, folks. They just get huge on us. Because why? Because you got this 150,000 started for you, and you got that able to balloon for at least 26 years if they take it at age 62. But let's see what happens if we start taking a little bit less, because that's what they wanted to know. They said, could they save a little bit less? I always hesitate to run less numbers. If they're able to save $1,000 a month, try to keep it up and build this up as much as you can, please, because we saw what you would have just 5 years later. 5 years later, you would have, again, what was it? 4,388,000 in the worst case scenario. So you kind of hate to cut that out, but I'm just going to go ahead and they want to retire at age 62. By the way, at age 62, I'm not a financial advisor, but you need to realize you need to come up with something for your health insurance because you're not going to be able to take Medicare till age 65. But I'm just throwing that in there. But I'm a numbers guy, so let's continue running the numbers. What happens if they now, also, another thing we take into account, what happens if the Social Security isn't there to that amount? What if you only get half of that by the time 26 years from now? Maybe Social Security is going to, get low on money and maybe you only get half of that. Let's see if we go to 2,000 a month. Still, the money lasts. Isn't that incredible? So let's start going down through here. And I'm going to leave this at 2,000 just to show you the difference. Okay, what happens if they save $800 a month? No longer 1,000 a month. Still, the money lasts. Again, these are in the worst case scenarios. First worst, second worst, and 10th worst. Your money's lasting. What happens if they're $500 a month? Still, it's lasting. $200 a month. Finally, in the two worst case scenarios, your money's running out at age 80 and 84, but 90% of the time your money is still lasting. What is this showing us, folks? It's showing this 150,000 that Charlie Munger said, get that first 100,000. They actually have 50% more of that. Look at how that's going to carry them through. It's going to build them up. So 26 years from now, even in the worst case scenario, using numbers from 1928, they'd have $1.2 million when they start withdrawing this. Second worst, 1.258, and so on. You can see the numbers going through there. That's just saving $200 a month. But let's say they continue, that's if they're doing $2,000 a month. If they do $4,000 a month, which is what they're projecting ahead right now, then their money lasts, except in the worst case scenario, that's age 88. But they wanted me to run numbers for them and see how maybe they could cut back a little bit on their savings from $1,000 a month. But again, if they just do $1,000 a month and go back to $500 a month and only get $2,000 from Social Security, even in that scenario, their money lasts. Isn't that incredible? Now, if they go to age 67, these numbers are going to be a lot bigger, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, but if they go out at age 62, it has less time for these numbers to accumulate. But because they've got this 150,000 working for them already, look at how that just carries them through. So like Charlie Munger said, you can kind of coast from there. What's coasting? Instead of saving $1,000 a month, go to $500 a month. Even if they only get half what they're expecting from Social Security, their money's going to last. But folks, that's what we do on this channel. We love running numbers for people. Folks, we're all on this financial journey together. All of us want a comfortable retirement, and none of us want to work any longer than we need to in order to reach that goal. In this case, this couple wants to go at age 62, and so I love to run numbers for people, showing them where they might be. Another thing I want them to realize is they said they're investing in a 401k. All my numbers are invested fully in the S&P 500 at this point. So if you're using some other investment, those numbers would be different. But I love to run numbers for people. And again, it looks like they're going to be in fine shape. Why? Because they've got this 150,000 working for them right off the bat. But again, that's what we do on this channel. We run numbers. Please consider subscribing. Please share this channel with others. Let people know about this channel, that we run numbers for people to give them some kind of idea what they might have in the future. And I love to catch people when they're young because they've got these kind of time periods for this money to work for them. Please like the video and thanks for watching.